a bad person. I don't mean you're going to be doing the mad thing, kicking babies, nothing like that. But you are going to have to understand that there is something within this particular type of frequency, the label of what it means to be good or bad, that is actually hindering you. Because you're a good person, I know it. Don't lie to me. I see you smiling, I know you're a good person. So let's get straight into it. Now, somebody asked me who are your favorite spiritual teachers, so I'm going to say this again. Homelander, Daemon Targaryen, Franklin Saint, season 6, episode 5, Ghost from Power, maybe Tariq St. Patrick, maybe. Yeah, I give it to him. He's all right. And somebody said they subscribed because I'm Akon. I'm locked up. That actually made me laugh. Now, let's get straight into it. So when I say manifesting is for bad people, you're first going to have to understand what it actually means to be a good person and a bad person. Now, without going too deep into the concept of morality, right? Because I don't want to twist anybody's minds in a particular way. I'll probably make a separate video on that. But when we think about being a good person, there's a whole bunch of traits and characteristics that come with the meaning of being a good person that is actually hindering you. And until you have the ability to override your goodness, you're going to continue to hit the ceiling every time you strive to materialize what it is you want. No matter what technique you do, nigga, I promise you, it's nothing to do with the techniques. I always want you guys to remember this actually. So when we're talking about techniques and stuff like that, there are certain principles when it comes to reality creation that will beat any new strategy, it will be any new techniques, so on and so forth, because there's always going to be something new. There's always going to be a new shiny object. Law of assumption, this is the best way to visualize. This is how you do your vision boards, so on and so forth. And you need to detach from that. I've already told you this. None of those techniques actually work. They only work due to the emotional conviction that you pour into them, which activates their ability to work. My point being, it is all you. You are the secret technique. Now, understanding what it means to be a good person, let's think about this. What it means to be a good person, number one, and bear in mind, I'm not talking about what it actually means to be a good person. I'm talking about from a point of reference when it comes to materialization of your reality and from a point of frequency. What it means to be a good person? Well, it means not doing too much. What else does it mean? It means staying in line. It means making people comfortable. It means being relatable. And by the way, I receive so many messages. I'm seeing niggas copying my YouTube titles, my actual words bar for bar in videos, and thank you. Like, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery, so I am indeed flattered. Now, what was I saying here? What did I say here? Making comfortable. What did I say here? Do you remember what I was saying? Ah, perfect. Thank you. Being relatable. Thank you very much, AJ. Being relatable. Now, let's go across these one by one because they all need to be deconstructed in order for you to actually understand how they're hindering you. Because whether you realize this or not, everything that I've wrote is everything that you're doing. And I know that for a fact, or you'd have clicked off this video already, but no, there you are still here. So let's look at the first one. Not doing too much. Now, you have to understand, if you are the type of person that I think you are, the type of person that this type of video was attracted to, you're an individual with extraordinary dreams. You have desires that you want to materialize that would probably break people's minds around you to the point that you can't even tell them because they're going to laugh at you and be like, so on and so forth. Now, because of that, there's an aspect of you that knows once you strive, and here's the thing, most of you are afraid of success and you don't even realize how this fear of success is actually subconsciously and unconsciously preventing you from being able to attain it, because you're not doing too much. You don't want to do too much. You know that if you're able to materialize that desired reality you want, those around you are going to be saying, now you're doing too much. I'm sure you've had these moments where you've had this vision that you want to live for your life, these things that you want to materialize, and those around you are like, come on, man. My point being, like a nail that is stood out, they hammer you back in. Pause. Understanding that even more, when you're in that position where you're afraid of not doing too much, what this ends up doing is limiting yourself to actually be able to strive for what it is that you want to attain. Because, like I said, if you're not trying to do too much, then you're going to do, what are you going to do? You're going to do what everybody else is doing. You're going to strive for mediocrity. Now, there's nothing wrong with mediocrity if that's what you're striving for. But if you're somebody who wants to be an anomaly, if you're somebody who wants to be extraordinary, and you're being kind of, I guess, compressed in a sense back to the alignment of how everybody else moves because you don't want to do too much. When you're afraid of doing too much, you end up doing what everybody else does. And when you end up doing what everybody else does, essentially you fall into mediocrity. And what mediocrity is, whether you realize this or not, is a particular frequency. And once you fall into that frequency, due to energetic momentum building, that's how small winds become tornadoes. That's how snowballs become avalanches. It stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks without you even realizing, until you look around and then you think to yourself, hey, I'm just like everybody else. But it's good, right? Because if you weren't like everybody else, then you'd be considered a bad person, right? You see how it's tricky. Now, the next thing you do, you stay in line. You stay in line. Once again, similar to the first one, you know that if you're able to materialize, and in fact, I won't say if, because that's a nonsensical word. When you materialize your desired reality, because you're going to. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't going to. It's just a matter of time.